everybody. You're listening to Blast Radius Podcast. It's almost the end of a really fucked up year, and we'd like to welcome back a long lost buddy. Welcome back to the podcast, Big J. We missed you, and also we'd like to welcome back good old reliable E, and of course our legal beagle, our legal luminary,
OG.
Yes, and of course another special friend of the podcast. You're always welcome, and we always enjoy your points of view. What's up, Zeta Man?
Zeta Man.
Hey.
Zeta Man.
Yun. With the North.
The gentleman.
With the North daw siya. With the North.
Zeta North.
Yun, Zeta North.
So what are we gonna do?
Snort.
What are you snorting? What the fuck are you snorting, right? Okay, anyways, what we're gonna be doing tonight, we're gonna be looking at the year in review with regard to a very serious issue, something that has been very controversial, that our country has been getting a lot of flack from all of our neighbor nations, whether or not we are adhering to human rights, et cetera, or are we really protecting human lives, according to our dear old President Duterte. So, we're talking about the war on drugs. Let's give you some statistics. The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency's real numbers show that 46 more drug suspects were killed from 5,810 on July 31st this year to 5,856 on August 31 this year. Why is this significant? Why are we talking about these dates here, July 31st to August 31st?
Kasi ito yata yung panahon ng COVID, di ba? Naka-lockdown. So, ibig sabihin, may mga... may mga napatay pa rin ng drug suspects.
It just means that a lot of Filipinos are still a bunch of drug fiends, whether or not there's a lockdown or not. Right? I mean,
Okay. Nga, parang ito, tie up to dun sa pinag-usapan natin yung addiction, di ba?
Yeah, that's right. So this is like a follow-up. And have we been addressing this social malady correctly? Are we actually making a difference? What do you think, Big J?
Si Big J, medyo fascistic to eh. Kaya hindi ko alam kung tingin ko
Kill the motherfuckers!
Ganun. Ano bang opinion mo dito, Big J? Tama ba na yung war on drugs natin, gumagamit tayo ng police and military, na military style tactics, barrel, or ano?
So,
sa tingin mo may maganda pa bang solusyon na pwedeng...
So anong gusto mong solusyon? Paano mo sila arestuin? Murahin mo na lang?
Yantok daw, yantok yun yung bago.
Ano sabihin? Pwede ba nating arestuin to with harsh language?
Yun.
Uy, gago, arestado ka. Ganun ba yun?
Ayun. Yung iba kasi, opinion nila, dapat maging lenient tayo. Parang
lenient in what sense?
Hindi, kasi ito yung psychological or psychiatric
that argument only works if the subject is a user. But if you consider the supplier, he's not necessarily a user. Pero siya yung nagsusupply.
Kumbaga salot siya. Kasi nilalaso niya yung mga tao.
Wala siyang sakit. Hindi siya addict eh. Pero siya yung nagsusupply.
I agree with you. Pero let's create a situation. What if you're in a session?
Okay. What kind of session?
Yung drugs kayo, whatever.
What kind of drugs?
I don't know.
Shabu. Sabi nga namin shabu. Yun yung pinaka-basic dito eh.
Tapos bigla na lang, ni-raid ng police. Diba? Nagkabarilan, patay lahat. Patay lahat yun. Hindi mo naman alam kung user actually yun or pusher. So, paano mo ngayon madidistinguish siya ganun? So,
yun ang laban eh.
Ayun.
Ayun na nga, yun yung point ko. So while I agree, hindi absurd yan, nangyayari.
There has to be some sort of controls in order to...
Precisely. Kaya nga yung premise mo.
In a perfect world.
Hindi. Kaya nga perfect yung scenario na yun eh. Kasi I agree with you na kung pusher ka, iba dapat yung trato sa'yo. Sa user ka lang.
But how do you distinguish? How do you distinguish the user to the addict, to the middleman, or to the to the convenient, or what do you call it, the weekend warrior, right?
That's precisely the point kung bakit kailangan may controls din talaga.
Ikaw, Zeta Man, ano bang tingin mo dito sa war on drugs natin?
Ikaw ba nagda-drugs ka ba?
Hindi, bro, I agree with OG na dapat harsh ka rin talaga, lalo sa mga pusher. Mahirap kasi talaga i-distinguish.
But you have to establish.
Correct, yes.
Yun lang.
Tama yun.
Hindi, I mean, matrabaho yun para sa mga pulis. Kasi sabihin sa'yo ng mga
Well,
pulis,
kaya sila pulis eh.
So they're not competent. Are you saying, are you saying, bro, are you saying that they're not
dalawang
competent?
policies na yan,
I mean, they're understaffed. Yun ang
Hindi
katotohanan dito
excuse
sa
yan. It's
should
a
be a
poor
balance
excuse.
between the two eh. Should be a balance between the two. Hindi yung exclusive na dito ka lang sa isa or doon ka lang sa isa. Kasi it won't work.
You know what? This is like a personal
So you are
experience.
only addressing one aspect of the problem.
Hindi, kayo, may kilala ba kayo ng mga kamag-anak na drug fiends?
Oo
na,
naman.
Dude, I'll tell you something.
Oh,
There
yeah,
was like,
ito.
they were like, someone I know was wrongly arrested. He wasn't. He was arrested. He was like at the wrong place at the wrong time. And
Actually, well, malabo din yan. Tama yung sinabi ni Bro OG eh, na ba't ka nandyan? Diba, nilagay mo yung sarili mo sa ganyang sitwasyon. O, diba?
Chamba lang. Chamba.
Hindi rin chamba yan, bro. Kumari, alam mo namang session yan eh. Kung talagang
No, but
decidido ka, umalis ka. Diba?
Kung makita mo, umalis ka na.
Yes.
Yan ang ano. Ikaw, Bro H, ano bang ano mo dyan? Yung
Alright.
lived experience.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You have to understand that there are different levels of people who use prohibited or illegal drugs, right? And not all of them are actually danger or a threat to society.
Okay.
All right. Some of them,
Functioning na addicts, mga ganun.
well, I guess. But the thing is, they're not hurting anybody. I mean, they're not abusing their children. They're not doing anything wrong. If they like to partake or whatever in whatever drug of choice that they have, does that mean that they've already lost their right to be treated under the law?
Ano bang tingin mo dyan, Bro OG, sa ganyan? Kasi bago mo sagutin, ha? Dalawa kasi yung point of view dyan, di ba? Yung militancy nga, tapos yung isang yung the libertarian point of view. So, ibig sabihin, pabayaan mo na sila. Gusto nila yan, buhay nila yan eh. Wag pakialaman, wag mong dagdagan ng batas. Wag mong pahirapan yung tao. Pagbigyan mo sila, kung gusto nilang ganyan, buhay nilang ganyan, let them be. Parang ganon. Ano tingin mo sa ganong policy prescription na dapat i-liberate natin, pabayaan natin, deregulate natin. Wala nang batas, pabayaan mo, natin. I-tax na lang natin, kikita pa tayo sa drugs. Pag sa benta ng drugs, sa kalakal ng drugs. Pabayaan mo ko, kasi tao yan, desisyon nila yan eh. Parang ganon. Or dapat ba makialam yung state na, hindi, member ng society namin to, citizenry namin to, kailangan bigyan namin ng konting controls to. Kasi pag binabayaan mo yung tao,
Parents patriating na sinasabi
di ba? Para pag binabayaan mo yung tao, di syempre yung babalik sila sa animal urges nila eh. Parang ganon, animal instincts. So, ikaw, anong...
They don't know any better.
Yun, so parang ganon yung point ng state naman, di ba?
Yun nga. It shouldn't be exclusive between the two na militancy ka lang or the regulation ka lang. Kailangan it's
Parang compromise sa tingin mo ang ano dyan.
There should be a comprehensive approach.
It's a balance between the two. Kasi we are not speaking on absolutes. We are not speaking absolutes, di ba? So
hindi lang black and white.
Meron ng hindi naman salot, user lang. Pero meron ding salot.
Okay.
Meron. Sometimes more often than not.
Diba? How do you address
Baka
that?
sabihin natin 95% salot. 5%
Absolutely.
lang
Yeah,
yan.
you have
Because
to
they got
catch the
control their
numbers.
shit.
Hindi naman lahat eh, di ba? Kasi
Ikaw,
minsan-
bro, Zaytaman, ano ba tingin mo
minsan-
sa
minsan-
percentages? Kung titingnan mo.
kahit alak nga lang, salot na eh.
Ayun.
Di ba? Pero,
Diba?
di ba?
Kasi ganito yun eh. Kung titignan mo rin naman, okay, let's look at history, okay? You guys remember back in the States, back in the 1920s, when prohibition was in place? It actually created more crime. It actually gave rise to the mafia, to organized crime, because
Exactly.
everybody knows you can't fucking tell people to stop fucking drinking. It's the same thing. You can't tell people to stop, using whatever
Marijuana.
drug of their choices.
So
Let's say
parang
marijuana for that sake. I mean,
ang tingin mo dyan, the more you ask them to stop, the more they want to
oh,
try
di
it.
ba?
Parang
Pero kung babalikan mo isang girl, di ba? Wag.
The more you want-
The more you want to do it, right? Or for example, no, yes. I mean, it's human nature for you to want to do something na pinagbabawal. Mas masaya, mas masarap, mas exciting. But the thing is, we have to take an important look into what we believe our core values are. Okay? I'm not against this whole war on drugs thing because in the first place, all of these motherfucking drug lords take advantage of the poverty, right?
Yes.
They take advantage of the socio-economic situation of our fellow Filipinos. They don't have any other choice.
Ito si Big J, may ano to, alam niyo ito sa malaki sa lugar nila, sa Negros. Isa sa mga pinakamataas na
Drug lord? Or drug
drugwar sa Shabu, mga ganon. Ano bang ano mo dyan, Big J? Ano ba talaga tingin mo na magandang solusyon? Ano bang middle solution para sa iyo na I mean, lahat ng parties magiging satisfied?
While you don't deal with absolutes, kailangan sure ka sa gagawin mo. So if you say na
Desidido.
desidido kayo na
Hindi
tigil
pwedeng
to.
half-baked.
Talagang war on drugs yan. Now, of course, there will always be exceptions. Siguro, tulad yan. Let's say, marijuana, sinasabi nila, medicinal daw yan. Hindi pwede siguro gano'n. Pero, prone to abuse pa rin yan eh. So, dapat, hindi ka pwedeng half-baked na, sige, yaan na natin kasi hindi naman sila nang gugulo eh. Nauna, tama yung sinabi actually na presidente, nakakasira ng utak yan eh. Sipin mo kung i-legalize mo yan, di may isang generation ka ng mga bobo.
Pwede.
Di ba? Nagiging ano na lang. Actually, Brad, may historical ano yan eh. Alam mo yung opium wars with China and the UK?
Okay.
Talagang binentahan ng gusto ng UK yan, yung China ng opium.
So, pinoyson nila.
Basically, may isang generation yung
Finance.
Chinese na wala na silang ginawa kundi mag-opium.
Kinopya naman ng US with South America.
And everybody
Not just
actually...
South America, the inner city streets.
CIA yung
CIA.
It was actually this is the ironic thing. I mean, there was
Time na Reagan yun. Time na Reagan.
This was the Reaganomics, and it was just saying no to drugs, but they were actually funding the goddamn cartels in order to have their war against not just the drugs, against what's that? The Contras.
The Contra.
Yes. They run Contras.
The fucking Shah of Iran. I mean, it's crazy, but a lot of people might think it's not true. But we're veering off. We're veering off. We're veering off topic.
Pero ang point dyan is yung mga ibang government intelligence agencies,
It doesn't work.
ginagamit nila yung drug war
Kasi
as a way to create wars.
No, not
Parang
just to
ganun.
create wars. You're creating a passive society. Kasi happy ka na eh. Nagda-drugs ka araw-araw.
So okay lang
kahit
okay lang
anong
yung
mangyari.
so tapos bombahan ka namin ng propaganda
Or
parang
yung
ganun.
ganun. Kasi happy ka. Everybody happy. Ganun. Actually, yun yung danger dyan ng bakit. Kasi baga nakakasira talaga ng utak eh. Yun yung problem dyan.
If it's abused, if it's
Well,
abused.
do you think you gonna stop sa isang ano lang? Hindi rin eh. Di ba? Kaya nga dapat i-limit mo rin kung ano, kasi hindi ka pwede while I agree na sometimes you have to deregulate. In most cases, kailangan mo rin talaga maging firm.
Okay.
Kasi tulad niya, no? Example, itong generation, sige, sabihin natin, previous administration, we're close to becoming a narco state eh.
Yung
totoo
time
yan.
ni Presidente Aquino.
Well,
na
supposedly,
napasok
that's
na tayo
what
ng mga
everybody
triad
claiming.
Here's another thing.
China.
You were just saying,
Yeah.
and the scenarios and masisilang utak natin. I was reading an article.
Okay.
All right, and this was collated by our favorite gnewsph.com. In the latest tests worldwide, we fucking placed last with regard to reading comprehension,
Whoa.
math, and science.
Yikes.
I mean,
So we're
and it's
dati, tsaka isipin mo, dati powerhouse tayo, di ba? Powerhouse tayo for a time.
When it comes to literacy, karamihan sa atin, marunong magbasa.
marunong lang magbasa pero hindi sila marunong umintindi.
Hindi, pero you start there. Hindi ka na nga marunong magbasa.
Hindi ka pa makaintindi.
Makaintindi pa. At least marunong ka magbasa, di ba?
So ano bang problema? Masyado na ba tayong nagiging...
Masyado na maraming addict dito sa Pilipinas. Kailangan we need to na. Hindi.
No, it's true. Kasi, kaya nga may mga out of school youths eh. What do you think ginagawa ng mga yun?
Pero ang tinadrugs nila doon eh, yung
Rugby.
rugby, like they
Well,
snort.
yung point ko eh. Kasi, yun nga eh. Kasi, mahirap i-deregulate. Kasi, makakahanap ng way yan para mag-drugs eh. Kung ano man yan. Di ba? Even yung marijuana, may sabihin natin, medicinal yan. But at some point, abusuhin din yan eh.
Kasi ganun talaga yung nature ng tao.
Na pagka pinabayaan mo, talagang abusuhin ka.
Gusto lagi magtampisaw sa batis ng kaligayahan. Parang gano'n.
Ikaw ba,
Prone
Zeta?
pa naman ng mga Pinoy sa ganun.
Oh, yan. Rosie.
Abuso.
Ikaw, Rosie, ano bang opinion mo sa ganyan?
Hindi,
Sa mga-
sa akin, okay naman na i-control. Pero, sana yung mga nagko-control, malinis din. Kasi ang
Ayun.
nangyayari, yung mga nagko-control, ang nagpapatakbo, sila rin eh.
Kumbaga yung mga
May
parang
sarili
ninja
rin.
cops.
Oh,
Mga
meron
ninja
din
cops.
silang
Oo.
meron din silang sariling agenda.
Oo.
Kaya yan, for example, merong nangyaring buy bust supposedly. Hindi actually hindi na nga buy bust eh.
Ano?
Kasi pagdating sa checkpoint, ano na kaagad, naitimbre na. Kumbaga yung mga bata, minors to
Oo.
nahulihan sila ng mga drugs. Ang pinapalabas sa media, ang kwento merong car chase. Pero ang totoo ay inabangan talaga sila.
Pinostehan sila ng mga...
Oo. So ibig sabihin
Rub out. It's like a rub out.
Exactly.
Because they were gonna talk.
Ang mangyayari doon, defenseless yung mga bata dahil natakot na sila eh.
Okay.
O, di ba? So instead na,
So,
kunwari,
kunwari sinasabi natin, may substance abuse, meron din abuse of authority.
yun.
So how do you temper these abuses, right? That's the big question.
So, yun ang dilema ng every state na...
Since time
iniisip
immemorial,
nila na,
because it's never really
paano
been
natin
solved.
mabalansin to, di ba? Yun.
Oo.
But you know what? Okay, here's a little food for thought. What about those countries wherein they have deregulated, and in fact they even provide health care for heavy substance abusers, for like people who do heroin? They actually give out needles. What's the name of this country? It's a Danish country. It's from
Sa Netherlands ba ito sinasabi mo? Sa
I believe
Amsterdam?
it's not just in Amsterdam, but there's this particular country. There's like this famous park wherein all of these drug users, or whether it be heroin or cocaine or what have you, they get and they fall in line, and the Department of Health of that particular country provides them with the paraphernalia, and they're free to like do their thing or do their drugs or do whatever. Their crime rate, the crime rate there, vis-a-vis the number of drug users. I mean, we really can't say that. I mean, why is this phenomenon in this particular country like so, but everywhere else in the world, it becomes some sort of like a violent clash of opposing forces?
Yun ang tingin ko dapat pag-aralan natin na tanong tayo. Dapat minsan magdala tayo dito ng mga interview natin sa mga isang doktor siguro tsaka isang enforcement na makakapag-explain sa atin.
But you know what?
Ano ba usually ang
With
nangyayari
regard
sa
to
mga
like the proper enforcement or the proper, the proper arresting of drug offenders, all right? This would probably all be solved if every fucking cop was made to wear some sort of a
body cam.
body cam. I mean, how expensive can it be, right? So wherever you go, whenever you make an arrest, the court will be able to discern or find out whether or not this cop is doing his job properly.
Oh, parang yung kay George Floyd, di ba? Alam mo, na divisive sa US na naging malaking issue, di ba? Dahil nga rin sa drug bypass daw yun, parang counterfeit money, tapos
sabi nga ng
it led to
isang...
something
Nobody
much
seems
worse.
to be bringing this up. I don't understand why not. I mean, how expensive is a... I mean, like, magkano ba ngayon ang isang body cam? Oh, yeah.
Somebody said
Okay.
they don't need any body cam because their body cam is God.
Yung,
Motherfucker. I mean, who the fuck was that really? I mean,
You don't believe me. Somebody really said that. Somebody from the PNP.
yun.
Jesus. I mean, OG, you're a
Bro,
lawyer.
somebody said that from the PNP.
Oh man. I mean, like, okay, so this is where I'm taking like some sort of reservation, because if we have officers of the law who are so goddamn cocky, or who refuse to subject themselves to the parameters of the law, which everybody should be falling under and should be abiding by, how can we guarantee the safety of every citizen? I mean, like, how many innocent victims could have been saved with the use of body cams? What do they have to hide in the first place? Apparently, it's a normal thing. I mean, I've talked to, like, come on. I mean, you know what happens? I actually, when this person I was telling you about who got arrested on a drug, he was acquitted, by the way, because it was, I mean, like, the arresting officers you know, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They planted shit on the person, and there was like it was all messed up. They were actually only after a person who they were with, but not them, and they were just like caught in the whole crossfire of things. But these are facts, and then you can see the judge, and then you can see her like shaking her head in disbelief and literally getting mad at the police officers.
So, ibig sabihin sa chain of custody, sa procedure ng arrest.
Yeah.
yan ang-
I mean,
I think yun yung kailangan ma-educate siguro yung police force natin.
I don't know,
Sa
but
mga
I mean,
ganyan.
like, look at the United States. I mean, they're so much far ahead of us, but look at the shit that's happening there. How the fuck are we gonna catch up? I mean, that's how far backwards we are, and it's scary. It's scary, but the thing is, these are the growing pains that every nation, I guess, has to endure. What do you think, Big J? I mean, it's a sad, sorry state, and it's sometimes frustrating, and then sometimes you don't know who to blame.
Hindi Hindi mo blame ka. Yung binoto nyo.
Yun lang.
Hindi, kung sa mga ganitong sitwasyon, hindi mo ba pwedeng i-blame yung parents dahil siyempre pinabayaan nila yung anak nila.
You think?
Or
I mean,
dahil
like you can have the best parents in the world, but if you're gonna try shit and if you're gonna get them, you know, experimenting. I mean, if you're a teenager, you're gonna try it.
Ayun.
Eh, problema mo na yun. Diba? Pag nahuli ka, thank you ka. Alam mo naman yung risk eh.
Ikaw ba bro OG, bago tayo magtapos dito sa subject na to, ano bang masasabi mo? Paano mo i-create yung perfect balance, kung tawagin, sa enforcement and
At our level?
respect ng rights ng
Kaya nga, at our level,
Ng citizens.
mahirap yata yun.
Well, you as an officer of the court, like, I mean, you're in a perfect position, you know, to try and temper the wheels of justice.
Kaya nga, established naman yung mechanism eh. Di ba?
And it works. And I guess to a certain extent, it does work, right?
If we only implement the laws as it should be implemented, walang problema.
So ang problema sa enforcement side.
Enforcement.
So, ang problema sa pulis natin. Enforcement din.
Maganda yung
Imagine.
Oh.
Kaya nagkaroon ng mga policies ang courts eh on how to treat drug cases. Special treatment na yung drug cases ngayon. It's not just an ordinary case because there are certain provisions in the Dangerous Drugs Act na important sa prosecution, etc., etc. And then the courts will be forced to dismiss the cases because hindi nasunod ng
Procedural due process, right?
ng mga pulis yung kailangan nilang gawin.
Chain of command.
Everything would be inadmissible or may defect na yung kaso nila. Mga ganon. It's always the implementation that's the problem.
So, yan. Final words. Bago tayo lumipat sa next subject natin. Next topic, rather. Ikaw, Mr. Z. Anong tingin mo dyan? Paano mo babalansin?
You're awfully quiet. You're not saying anything. What are you hiding, man?
Ayan.
Yun lang. For me, yun nga, gaya yung sinabi kanina, dapat patas. Kung meron tayong gagawin about yung sa law enforcement, sige, magpatupad tayo ng mga batas, pero wag umabuso. Kung hindi ayaw nyo umabuso rin yung mga tao sa mga substance, wag din kayo umabuso sa power niyo.
Sa palagay mo ba yung ginagawa ng gobyerno ngayon to educate people about the harms of drug use?
Not enough. Kasi alam na nila yan eh. Not enough. Kasi alam na nila yan eh. Pinasok na nila yan eh.
Not enough.
So sa tingin mo, kailangan pa rin, kahit na may mga magulang ka na, kailangan pa rin ng gobyerno pagsabihan ng mga kabataan natin.
Our educators as well. And maybe,
Meron na yan eh. Nasa school na yan. Pati nga sa church, di ba? Sa church, nasa school, tapos may mga information dissemination din naman sa media and saka sa social media. Pero, apparently, ginagawa pa rin, ginagamit pa rin. Di ba? So,
Kulang.
ang ano na lang dyan is proper implementation of the law.
good luck on that.
Tapos, yun nga, yung mga mag-i-implement din at mag-enforce, sana, totoong mag-enforce. Hindi yung gagawang ka ng kwento para lang dumami yung reports nila at gumanda, bumango ang kanilang mga pangalan.
Tapos magkapera rin sila.
Yun. Exactly.
Ba't mo gusto maging pulis? Malakas ang kita dyan eh. Powerful ka dyan eh. Di ba? Yan ang pangarap. Tapos yung nakita, I'm not about kids like, they want to be cops because they want to, you know, they want the lifestyle of a drug lord apparently also.
Ang maganda na nga lang dyan, gawan na lang ng ano eh. Kumbaga, lagyan nila ng katakot-takot na tax. Diba?
That's the regulation.
Yan, yung sinasabi
Pero
nila.
you also have to remember there are different classifications of these substances.
Kaya nga.
Di ba?
Tapos i-identify.
Meron talagang prohibited.
Oo.
Hindi pwedeng i-legalize yun.
Meron i-identify yung mga pwedeng i-regulate at saka i-identify yung mga hindi dapat talaga na mga substances.
Pero the thing is, wait, just playing devil's advocate, it's also dangerous kasi drugs affect people differently eh. Like, I mean, hindi mo kasi pwede sabihin na, let's say marijuana, wala yan. I mean, like, it's natural. It's cool. I mean, wala kang aawain. Mahal mo nga ata tao. Ganon din ang ecstasy. Wala ka rin aawain. Mahal mo rin ang tao. Addict ka lang kapag if you take cocaine or shabs or whatever. So, but the thing is, it affects people differently. Some people get paranoid if they smoke marijuana, right? So there is no hard, fast standard rule. Like, us alone, like, pag nalalasing tayo, yung iba dyan, nagiging flip. Yung iba, natutulog lang. Yung iba, so I mean, let's just look at alcohol itself, all right? When the U.S. tried to go, when the United States, they tried with their Puritan sense of view, they created a monster, right? When they tried, and how long did Prohibition last?
I don't know, 20 plus years.
No, it's like,
Years lang yun. Years lang.
it didn't even last a decade. And in the span of a decade, you created empires. Fucking empires. Like the
Mafia!
with the likes of, you know, Lucky Luciano. And then up to now, I mean, they still fucking exist.
Because they were able to transition they were able to legitimize their activities. And they already have the funds.
They have the funds.
They already have the Jews working for them.
Yun.
The dangerous thing is because if you want to prevent our country from becoming a narco state, then you got to prevent these drug lords from having all the power because they can buy everybody off, or they can fucking buy any goddamn politician and keep them in their pockets and pretty much sustain or maintain the status quo.
Yes.
I think something different has to be tried, all right? Because we've been doing the same fucking dance over and over again, and it hasn't. I mean, it's insanity. The perfect definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again without changing a goddamn thing and expecting a different result every single time. So let's try something fucking different.
Yeah, let's turn to vigilantes.
May question pala ako. Paano ba yung implementation nilang body cam? I know that our PNP is already planning on getting body cams. Pero saan mapupunta yung footages noon? Sinong mag
Sa stations din. Of course, if merong bayad dun sa station,
They can alter these
always,
videos.
they can always
I mean,
tamper with the evidence.
It's also a question of how the integrity of the footage from the body cams will be
Or the
Unless-
integrity of the person
Yes,
unless
taking care of the footage.
it's
Kahit
broadcast
anong gadget
live.
ang bilhin mo, if
Diba?
you cannot ensure the integrity of the data,
Para
what's the
kay?
point?
Yeah.
Pwede natin pag-usapan yun next time.
Maybe-
Para makita natin yung pag nakita natin yung
Maybe, yeah, that would be
Paano
cool.
yung body
Like,
cam?
how does it work? How does this whole thing work?
Mag-interview tayo ng members ng natin, ng kapulisan.
Maganda sana yung body cam diretso
yung
sa
body
cloud.
cam. Oh,
Para maano
live,
natin.
live
Transparency.
Live
Siyempre,
Yeah,
broadcast.
transparency. Like it's like on Facebook Live
Yeah.
every single time. I mean, like whenever there's like a group of cops. No,
But
but
even-
they'd be tipping off the
But
crooks
even
as well. That's not
even
gonna
sa
work
US
out.
kasi hindi eh. You have to petition the police to release the footage.
Oo nga eh.
So yun.
Oh, is that the case?
You have to-
It's not accessible.
Hindi,
By
pero
public, and it's not public.
It's not public.
maganda yun na ganun.
But if it's subject to a
Hindi, for as long
crime,
as it's available. Kumbaga,
hindi nabura or hindi
oh yeah,
na-
kumari may nagpetition for some very good reason, meron kang ipoproduce. Di ba?
Exactly.
Kasi ang problem dyan is, putya, may
And
petition
then-
ka, wala kang ma-produce.
And then also, how reliable are these body
Cameras,
cams
these
that they're
body cams.
going to buy?
Now, that it won't break down.
Kasi knowing our our
nasira
SOP,
Para yung nangyari sa mga prisons natin, di ba?
Oo.
Yung hindi mo napagawa yung camera.
So yun,
Nagkataon lang.
bago tayo lumipat, final words, Big J, ano bang final words mo dito tungkol sa topic na to?
Hindi, yung pag law enforcement
magiging
talaga.
solusyon natin dito sa problema
Hindi,
ito?
pagka higher level yung law enforcement mo, I don't think kahit yung mga let's say, cameras na yan, while very good tool to have, nice to have yan but it's not really the...
it doesn't
And all,
guarantee.
it
Yes,
doesn't
correct.
guarantee.
Kumbaga,
But it
dapat-
helps. But it helps.
It will help, definitely. Pero dapat yung law enforcement to begin with, may higher level of thinking. Na tipong,
Competency.
Yeah,
We should hold our officers
Yes.
at a higher
Yeah.
standard, parang ganun. And so that if they want to command
Oh, tsaka
respect,
pasaldahin mo rin ng maayos. So they don't look for other sources of income.
Yun. So yun po tayo. Next naman tayo, producer. Next topic sa itong episode to.
well,
Ayun.
because everybody was so high on drugs, some motherfucker thought about why don't we try and have a country and let the people decide how our lives should be raised. They're all fucked up in the state of it.
Ayun.
So we're gonna be talking about the state of our democracy, okay? And are we truly free?
Yes.
Are we for the people, by the people, and of the people? Or are we for the elites through the use of mass media and the entertainment industry?
Yun.
Are we just being herded with this mass mentality and led to believe,
Cattle, like cattle.
like cattle, dinilin lang din ba ang mga tao? Are we ready for democracy? Okay, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We might, Broy, what's your take on this particular, like a bird's eye view? What do you think? Do you think our country, the Philippines, because we're the only predominantly Catholic country and democratic country within Southeast Asia? What are you fucking talking about, man? What is that?
Eh, pinakita niyo yung police na nagsabi na...
Oh, stupid motherfucker.
So, ang topic natin, no? So, ano ba, yung demokrasya ba tama dito sa bayan natin, sa Pilipinas?
Mag-exam nga tayo. Kasi,
Diba?
No, there's
naintindihan ba
something
natin
wrong
yung-
with our society. Diba?
Okay. Ano ba tingin mo? Kasi, are we educated enough? Are we enlightened enough na ma-handle natin yung democracy?
Or
I
are we
don't think
better?
so.
Hindi pa.
Para
Tingin
tayong
mo?
mga batang pinakawalan sa candy store after the occupying forces left eh.
So, ibig sabihin, tingin mo, kailangan pa natin ng ruler na
With a strong fist of iron to tell us what to do. Because basically, what's going on is we're still being ruled by the ultra elite,
course.
but in a more subtle, and
Kumbaga, yung mga mayayaman natin, yung mga pinakamayayaman natin, di ba? Sila pa rin bang may impluensya sa mga desisyon na nangyayari
I
dito
think
sa
so. Oo.
bayan natin? Mukhang ganun, di ba? Kung iisipin mo. Kasi meron ako nabasa na study na sinasabi nila, pinupoint out nila na we are still ruled by oligarchs. Binanggit nga ni Duterte rin yan, di ba?
yeah, we are.
Na yung mga families before nung Spanish time, tapos yung mga nakinabang nung Japanese occupation, mga Chinese, na mga families na yumaman nung sila pa rin yung dominate ng culture and society natin eh. So, pwede mo sabihin nga talaga na hindi talaga panahon pa para tayo magkaroon ng demokrasya sa atin. Dahil nga, yun nga, na konti lang yung may nakakapag-rule pa rin sa atin, yung mga mas mataas sa atin, kumbaga. Yun ang sinasabi
Diba,
nila.
parang konti na nga lang, kailangan na tayo mag-French Revolution eh.
Ikaw pa, Big J, ano ba tingin mo? Tama ba na magdemokrasya na tayo, Pilipinas?
No, do we truly reside in it?
Pagkatapos tawagin ng mga Hindi, kung sino manalong isa, sabihin, bobo yung mga botante, di ba? Kung manalo si kabila, bobo rin yung mga botante nito, di ba? Ano ba, tama ba na mag-demokrasya pa ba tayo? O...
Tama pa rin yan. Tama pa rin yung demokrasya. Pero ang ano is, kailangan maging edukado yung mga tao.
Yep.
Kailangan mag-level
So
up.
hindi mali yung...
Tsaka kailangan mag-mature.
How the fuck we're gonna level up? We're fucking last in all the goddamn important subjects.
yan ang problema.
Yan ang nakakatakot.
Hindi yan yung nakakatakot. Yan ang problema.
Ayun.
Kasi ang problem really is yung hindi nga tama, hindi mature. But it's really boils down to hindi sila edukado eh.
Yep.
Kumbaga, kaya kiniklaim ng pag nanalo yung isa, bobo yung mga tao. Pag nanalo yung isa, bobo yung mga tao. Pero kung lahat yan medyo nag-iisip para sa sarili nila, katawagan naman kami bobo, pero kami nanalo. Pero pagka ganun yung nangyari, at least yung mga binoto mo, at least alam mong gagawin yung tama.
Pero hindi nga ba ang nangyayari ngayon sa demokrasya natin na naging divided nation tayo?
It will always be that way.
Sabihin medyo nakakasawa pakinggan yung kaliwat kanan eh. Sabihin na lang natin na divided na lang tayo sa dalawang kupunan. Na kasi ang nangyayari ngayon sa politika natin parang team sports na eh. Di ba? Na parang nag-cheer ka para sa team mo. Na wala ka ng pakialam kung ano yung policy ng isa o kung ano man yung nagagawa, ang kabutihan ng nag-aaway na lang tayo dahil yung team ko,
it will always be that way.
Diba? Parang ganun
It has always
identification
been like that.
Yun nga. So, di ba dapat yun ang baguhin natin?
Kasi napaka-immature nga and misinformed or ng mga voters eh.
Or they
you
don't care.
You don't really vote for the platform. You don't vote for who is better. Hindi yan ang consideration eh. Hindi yan ang consideration.
Yung consideration, kung sino yung mo, kung ano man yung mo, benta mo, boto mo, yun.
Ako, ang napapansin ko lately kasi, yung Filipino, hindi lang siguro, lahat ng mga tao sa mundo natin, siguro mapangakuan ka lang, masabihan ka ng mga platitudes, ng mga kung ano-anong magagandang salita, bumibenta na rin sa'yo.
Kontento na, hindi na kailangan pa rin.
Sinabi niya na yung gusto kong marinig eh, di ba?
Nakita ka lang, nag-handout ka ng mga relief goods, okay ka na.
Pero sa mga politiko naman, yung iniisip naman nila, ano bang gustong marinig ng mga tao? Ano bang gustong marinig ng tao? Tapos sabihin nila kung ano lang yung gustong marinig ng tao.
Kasi popularity contest.
Yun, tapos ano mangyayari, di ba?
Which is always the case, popularity. Kailangan mo talaga actually is a leader that will push through kung ano man yung bakit siya binoto.
So, kung tingin mo, it's either dictatorship or monarchy. Pwede ba sa atin yun?
That's not gonna work either.
It's not gonna work simply because
Ligas na matitigas ang ulo natin.
Tigas ng ulo natin kasi tigas ng
lalagyan mo ng isang pinakamatigas ang ulo. Putang ina.
What if yung idea ng federalism, balik natin dyan, ipasok natin dyan, kaya ba?
Yung iba kasi sinasuggest na hindi enough yung federalism. Ang tingin nila, mas maganda localism. Localism which is within your own communities, within your own societies.
Barangays.
Yun, mga ganon. Doon kayo mag-start, kumbaga grassroots. Doon kayo respetuhin natin, isa nga tayong bansa. Pero sa kada lokalidad, meron sila sariling culture nila, may sarili silang, napabayaan natin sila, ganon sila, di ba? As long as nag-prosper sila, nagagawa nila yung tama, pabayaan natin sila.
Sige. Paano hindi sila nag-prosper?
Sa localities nila.
Hindi. Kung hindi sila nag-prosper, anong gagawin mo?
Oo nga.
That's their own fucking problem because they brought it upon themselves.
Hindi rin eh.
Tingnan nyo.
Pwede. Kasi,
So,
sige.
dapat mag-intercede pa rin yung state.
Of course. Sige. Magkalapit bayan tayo. Ikaw yung mayor ng kabila. Ako yung mayor ng isa.
Prosperous yung isang bayan.
Isa hindi. So, anong gagawin ng mga tao?
Magkikreate.
Gagawin nila. Hindi lumipat sila doon sa kabilang bayan.
Yun na lang mangyayari.
Oh.
So, syempre, yung mga
Or gagayahin nila.
ayaw nila.
Or gagayahin nila yung ginagawa nung ginagawa
ganyan
nung...
Mas okay kung ganun.
Diba?
Ganyan na yung nangyari. Kaya na overpopulate.
So, you will
Dahil
create
sa-
pockets of conflict.
Dahil sa talangkaan. Ganun.
You have islands of excellence.
Hindi siya talangkaan actually. Magiging ganun talaga. Kasi dadalhin nila yung mali nilang ugali doon sa kabila eh. I'll give you an example. Yung pinaka-classic example dyan sa US. O yung California and Texas. Diba? Everybody's leaving California for some reason.
Because of the taxes that they have to pay.
Number one,
Taxes.
very exorbitant yung taxes. Tapos ang dami nilang laws. Kumbaga, kung ano-ano na.
Lahat may batas.
Lahat may batas. Tapos lilipat sila ng Texas. Tapos they're gonna bring that same shit sa Texas.
Yun ang magiging problema.
And Texas is gonna secede from the United States because we don't take no shit.
So at some point, yung Texas, magiging California na rin.
Ayun, kaya...
Or, magkakaroon ng conflict between California and Texas.
Exactly. That's why hindi ubra yung
Kaya
localism
magkakaroon
talaga. Pwede siguro yung...
Pockets of conflict.
pwede siguro yung pinaka-best nice.
Hindi, kunwari sa mga dialects natin. Respetuhin natin.
Sige, pwede siguro yung federalism, pero kailangan mo mag-mature muna bago ka bigyan ng...
Ilonggo speaking, sabihin natin. No?
It's regardless
may culture
kung
tayo, di ba?
It is regardless kung ano nga. Kung ako yung tanungin mo, pwede siguro yung federalism, pero kailangan mag-mature ng isang, let's say, region, bago siya bigyan ng maging federal state. Parang ganon.
But does it have to be generational? I mean, in order for you to mature? I mean, like, an ordinary human being eventually has to mature within his own lifetime.
Well,
We've been trying to, but as a nation, we've been trying to mature.
Hindi tayo nagmamature kasi dahil hindi naman natin tinatry eh. Yun yung problem eh. Kumbaga, we're just doing the same thing and expecting the same results.
Which is insanity.
Yeah, mostly kasi, ang nangyayari, instead na mag-improve, criticize na ng criticize.
Regardless sa criticize, ang point ko is, sige, binoto natin, for example, si Presidente ganito.
Okay.
The next administration, binoto na naman. Kahit magkaiba pa sila. But
Wala
we're
naman
trying to
silang
do the same thing. Di ba?
Binoboto natin yung pa rin.
Kumbaga, hindi naman sa
Wala
parehas
naging
sila.
tawang gobyerno para sa mga karamihan eh.
Kumbaga, hindi sila parehas. Pwedeng mas magaling tong isa or mas mabait tong isa.
Minsan nakakain din sila ng sistema.
Pero ganun yung nangyayari kasi yung
Right.
sistema mo nga parehas lang. So, that's why na yung may promise sana itong kay Duterte nung sinasabi niya federalism.
Yeah.
Kaso,
Right.
hindi naman natupad. So, we're still stuck with the same system.
We only have a year left.
Wala na yon, kumbaga dead na yon. So, kumbaga, ganun lang eh, paulit-ulit na lang eh. So, kung ako, hindi ko naman sinasabi na i-force mo yung federalism. Of course, there are some regions na kailangan, no? Like Muslim Mindanao, like Cordillera, for example. Pwede mong ano yan.
Right, to self-determine.
Oo, kasi...
They have their own culture. And it's
Hindi,
easy to-
deep-rooted yan sa history eh. So,
yeah.
pwede yon.
Never naman talaga sila nasakop. Like, based on,
Hindi, wala naman nasakop na sila. Let's put it this way, bahagi na sila ng bansa eh. Pero ang point ko is, may cultural reasons yon. So, sige, balik tayo sa, ano bang pinaka-outside of Metro Manila? Ano yung pinaka-progressive na region? Sabihin natin Region 7.
What's that? Is
Cebu.
that the Calabar?
Cebu. At saka yun, tama, Southern Tagalog, Calabarzon. So sabihin natin yung dalawang regions na yun, I think may karapatan maging federal state. Kasi kaya nila eh.
Okay.
'Di ba? So yun muna yung pagbigyan mo. Tapos yung the rest of the regions, pag-graduatein mo muna that they need to reach a certain level bago mo sila gawing federal region.
Di ba yun naman ang ginagawa natin sa
Well,
local
supposedly
government code
ganon.
natin?
Pero hindi
Saka sa
nangyayari.
Internal
Kaya,
revenue allotment.
kaya nga,
Oo.
precisely. Pero hindi nangyayari. Bakit? Because we're just doing the same thing.
Hindi, tsaka yung,
And
yung
the Philippines, we have
qualifications
so many-
natin for
Workarounds.
sa local government code, lang, statistics.
Babak.
Ay, yun na nga.
Numbers.
Kumbaga,
Land area, population,
kung ano-ano pa,
income.
di ba?
So, hindi nuanced. Yun ang tingin mo.
Hindi.
So kung ako talaga tanungin, dapat ganun yung kumbaga gradual yung pagka-federal hindi yung biglaan. Kasi may mga regions talaga na mahirap eh.
Parang binigyan mo isang bata na napakaraming pera na hindi mo pa tinuruan kung paano mo gagastusin. Parang ganyan na mangyayari dyan.
Well,
di ba?
supposedly, matuto na sila kasi yung region na hindi naman yayaman yun kung mga immature talaga sila eh. Di ba? Kung conflict-ridden yun. Pero may mga regions talaga na, let's say, mahirap, na hindi talaga pwedeng gawin mong federal state or federal
Kayo
region.
ba, Mr. Zeta, sa Baguio, sa lugar nyo? Masasabi mo bang mga enlightened na yung mga tao doon na maaasahan mo na yung
Doon,
yung
They're
boto
enlightened
na-
because of the high altitude there.
O
tapos
dahil
lightheaded din, lightheaded.
kulang sa oxygen.
Hindi, tsaka masarap ang juice dun, di ba? Baguio Gold, di ba?
Panalo yun, panalo.
Hindi, pero sa North, meron silang certain level of pride sa nila.
North?
Yeah. oo.
Yeah, that's true.
Hindi, yun na nga. Lahat naman may certain level of pride na eh.
Oh, pati nga sa South eh.
Oo nga, pero yung what I mean is, yung sa, for example, yung specific sa Muslim Mindanao and Cordillera Autonomous Region, dati yun ang pwede sa akin. Kahit na, I'm not saying na immature yung lugar na yun or hindi nila kaya, pero pwede silang gawin talagang regional, kasi may historical, may historical factors.
But what happened to Normie Swari when he was given that opportunity? Parang,
Yun na nga, kumbaga, probably they had the wrong leader. Probably, hindi ko alam. Pero, ang point is, historically, dapat mo talagang ibigay yun. For me,
Ang problema, hanggat nababayaran mo yung mga politiko, tapos mayroong
Ayun
mga
na nga.
lobbyists for special interests,
hindi talaga matatapos
Hindi
yan.
matatapos yung mga problema
I agree
natin.
na talagang dapat may...
kasi
may
pansarili lahat ang iniisip.
So
Hindi
pero
yung
kung-
bayan.
pero kung localized na yun, let's say, yung region Calabarzon or region, region 4B. Kasi mayaman sila eh.
Ang maganda dyan, umupo silang lahat ng mga regions, planuhin nyo.
Hindi, doon ka muna nga, mag-start ka lang sa region na talagang kaya nila. Kasi even if na hindi sila suportahan ng national government, kaya nila mabuhay kasi mataas yung income nila.
Okay.
So, ganun din, yung Region 7, yung Cebu. Actually, kung tutuusin mo, yung Region 7, ilan yung dyan? Ilan yung probinsya dyan? Hindi naman lahat mayaman yun eh. O, diba? Yung Region 7, yung part ng Region 7, Negros Oriental. O, di naman siguro yung income nun. Disparity nun sa Cebu City and Province is malayo. So, pero cargo na nila yon kasama sa region yun eh. Pagandahin nila, di ba? Ganun lang yung
So, anong magiging pinakasolusyon muna natin habang tayo'y nagle-level up?
I think we really need to work towards that goal na tipong dapat maging kasi autonomous region kasi you're making those people responsible for their own eh.
So, dapat yung mga communities within the region, magsama-sama kayo, mag-unite kayo. Gawin nyo yung...
Hindi, supposedly united na sila, di ba? Kasi ikaw nga nagsabi kanina na may common language sila. Di ba? So to start off with, dapat mag-level up sila sa way of thinking nila. Kasi hindi mo talaga maalis habang may national government. Lahat yan naasa sa national government eh.
Okay.
Di ba?
So, parang supra-body kasi yung government, di ba?
Ayun yung nangyayari.
Ikaw, Bro Itch, bilang nagda-double sa politics, ano bang...
Fuck that. I'm out.
ano bang tingin mo magiging magandang solusyon dito sa mga problema na dinadanas ng mga...
The beast has become an untamable plague to our nation. And when I talk about the beast, I'm talking about our very own bureaucracy.
Yes.
All right? Because sometimes it doesn't fucking matter. You can be the greatest, most brilliant and kind-hearted leader, but if you work within a decaying and literally corrupt abyss of a bureaucracy, wherein they are so cocky and they themselves know for a fact you're only going to be here for 6 years, we still control all the shit.
Exactly.
Right? Nothing is going to happen. It's still going to... I say we fucking abolish the goddamn GSIS. Fucking make all of our government employees work their ass off and really deserve.
Tanggalin mo yung security of tenure, di ba?
Take off the fucking security of tenure because you know what? It is actually a breeding ground for complacency and corruption.
And incompetence.
And incompetence. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. It's fucked up. We've been doing this for so long already and it doesn't fucking work. You have great people.
Ang problema, sisisihin ng gobyerno, tao. Citizens, di ba? Yan ang problema naman.
Yun
Pag
yun.
sinisi mo yung gobyerno for its incompetence, sabihin nila, hindi, kayo may problema, kayong mga tao. Di ba? So, never ending yung cycle na to. So, I think, yun, dapat ipasok natin, consider din natin na dapat bang, sabi nga niya, Bro OG, Triple OG, di ba? Mukhang kailangan na ng French Revolution dito sa lugar natin. Di ba? Ano bang OG? Expound on that point na sa tingin mong kailangan na ng revolution dito sa bayan natin para magising.
Premised on
Para
the
magising.
argument that the whole country or most of the resources of the whole country is controlled by a handful.
Yun. Ikaw...
Yun yung naging solution nila sa France, di ba?
Tama. Ikaw, Big J, tingin mo ba dapat ba tayo mag-revolt na against our elites? Against the brainwashing of the mass media,
naman.
propaganda, etc.
Well, babalik tayo dyan sa sinasabi nilang mga red tagging. Pwede ka mag-revolusyon na hindi mo kailangan magbitbit ng armas, di ba?
Tama.
Bumoto ka.
Bitbit tayo ng armas.
Hindi. Inuunahan ko na nga eh. Kasi baka doon patungo eh. Kasi
Mared tag tayo dito. We're not trying to...
Yeah, alam ko din yung sinabi. Pero yun yung magiging ano niyan eh. Lalo na, sinabi nga natin, hindi naman katalinuhan lahat, di ba? Sinabi mo revolusyon, iniisip ka agad na lahat is magbarilan tayo dito.
We can have a cultural revolution.
Yes.
Right?
Well, actually, violent yung cultural revolution na ginawa ng China, which is hindi yan yung target natin.
Sexual revolution.
Yung revolution of love.
Ibig sabihin nun, iba
Hindi,
yun.
ibang violence naman yun.
A revolution of love yun, and caring for our own. Yun.
You know, Elon Musk actually, there was like I saw this thing on YouTube, and he was like talking about AI, but then he eventually said that we have to have faith. We have to maintain faith in humanity. You know, if we give people a chance, they eventually will do the right thing, or they're not as bad as we perceive them to be, or as we perceive ourselves to be. Do you guys agree?
Exactly. So, ang ano doon is parang kahit na meron na tayong technology na parang part na ng katawan natin. Kaya sabi nga niyan, sinabi mo, di ba?
We're cyborgs, right?
Hawak mo yung cellphone mo, parang part na ng katawan mo yan. Part na ng utak mo yung cellphone mo, di ba? Kung may kailangan ka malaman, check the phone, di ba? So, ang point is baka unti-unting nadidegrade yung pagiging humans natin, di ba? Ang problema naman
Let's get
natin
rid
is
of our phones just for a while.
hindi natin ma-define kung ano nga ba what makes us human. Ano ba? Is it our emotions? Is it our love, our faith?
That's
Diba?
fucking profound, man.
Hindi natin alam yun. Ano ba yung humanity para sa atin? Diba? Yun ang magiging next siguro ng subject natin na pag-usapan. Yung humanity.
Kahit pag-usapan natin ng isang taon
Ang
dire-diretso.
hirap eh. Philosophical kasi yung question.
Damn.
Baka mabot tayo sa rationalism, etc. na discussion sa philosophy.
Well, Descartes.
Descartes na tayo. Medyo,
Mamaya, babalik tayo sa existentialism.
Descartes.
Filipino.
From Descartes to Mishima. Yan ang pag-uusapan natin. Anyway, yun. Sabi nga ng producer natin, 5 minutes left. Last words tayo. Tapos, let's wrap it up. Ayun.
Big J, it was good to have you finally back from your hiatus.
Yun.
Your inebriated hiatus.
I don't exactly know what that means.
So ako, final words, Big J. Ano bang masahe mo sa... may pag-asa pa ba ang bayan natin na magbago?
Of course, hindi ka dapat mawala ng pag-asa. Yun na yung point doon.
Na maging high-trust society tayo. Na tiwala sa lahat. Na alam nilang gagawin.
Marami pa naman kabataan na pag-asa ng bayan.
Na alam mo yung katabi mo, gagawin yung tama. Parang gano'n. Yun yung high-trust society. Na ako, pwede kong pabayaan yung bahay ko na bukas. At alam kong walang papasok dahil tiwala ako sa mga taong kasama ko.
Tapos kinabukasan, wala ka ng gamit.
Kung dito ka sa Metro Manila, tingnan mo, lahat ng mga lugar may security guard. Di ba? Kasi ano yan? Ibig sabihin,
May guardhouse na. May guardhouse ka na sa village. May
sarili
guard
ka pang guard sa bahay.
Yeah,
di ba?
nobody trust nobody.
Tinangka mo pa yung bahay mo.
Ayun, kailan tayo magiging ganun, bro? Na magiging high trust society tayo. Na lahat ng
Hindi,
tao,
pero
sa tabi mo, alam mong edukado, alam mong pagkakatiwalaan, alam mong gagawin nila yung tama. Para sa
The
bayan.
only way for that to happen is if your economy improves. To the point na yung lahat ng tao, they have the proper means to take care of themselves, di ba? Kasi kung ikaw,
It's the hierarchy of values. You're talking about that.
no, not really. Basta ang point lang is, kung ako, personally, kung kaya ko naman mabuhay na hindi ako nagnanakaw, hindi talaga ako magnanakaw.
Hindi ako forced
Hindi
into
ako
that
forced
life.
Yes, exactly. So, habang may mahirap, habang may, let's say, may addict, for example, kasi sometimes wala na silang pera,
Ang
magnanakaw
problema,
sila, di ba?
may mga tumatapak din eh, di ba? Kahit na...
Well,
Yun ang mga-
yung mangyayari niyan sa mga ganun, magiging exceptions sila rather than the rule. Pero ang kailangan natin i-achieve is yung harmony na tipong lahat will have the means to take care of themselves. Yun yung kailangan doon. Hindi naman lahat.
part nun yung financial freedom.
Of course. Kasi kung, for example, isang normal na tao, kung kaya mo naman mabuhay na matino, ba't ka pa magnanakaw? Unless si Raulo ka. Di ba?
So,
Yun lang yun.
Ba't ka naging
Literacy.
sinaulo? Kasi nag-drugs ka.
Pero may sakit ka na nun.
Precisely. So exception ka na, di ba? Rather than the
Exception
rule.
So, OG, ikaw, final words. May pag-asa pa ba bayan natin?
Hindi naman pwedeng sabihin walang pag-asa.
Ayun.
Diba?
Kasi
As
nga-
long as you're living, may pag-asa.
No matter what state of life.
Kailangan makaalis lang tayo sa cycle.
Yep.
Vicious cycle.
Yun
ang
lang,
tinatawag
oo.
nila. O, ikaw, Mr. Zeta.
Uy, sa akin.
As long as there's love.
Yeah, you got me there. Hindi, para meron pa naman, may pag-asa pa naman na may pag-asa
Don't despair,
pa.
parang ganun, don't despair.
May pag-asa pa. Ang ano lang, of course, nasa tao rin talaga yan eh. Kung
Gigising ba siya?
mm,
Sa slumber ng ano?
yun din yun eh. And of course, yung kung iaasa rin lang naman kasi natin sa lahat dun sa gobyerno.
Walang mangyayari.
Wala eh.
Siyam-siyam tayo.
Oo. Tsaka, obviously, sa atin, ang nangyayari kasi sa Pilipinas, kahit sinong iboto, laging mali. Walang
Walang tama.
nakakontento. So, kanya-kanyang kuro-kuro, kanya-kanyang gusto nila sila lahat ng tama.
Yun. Siguro, ano yan, hanggat yung mga politiko natin, sila nakakapili kung sinong winners and losers.
Yeah, Pacquiao
Diba?
for president.
Diba? I think malaking bagay yan eh. Siguro, i-reduce natin yung power. I think, agree din ako sa sinabi ni Bro H na bigyan natin ng command responsibility mga nasa gobyerno natin, tanggalin natin sila kung palpak sila, yung mga nasa bureaucracy, di ba? I think, ayun, magiging magandang simula yun sa solusyon na hinahanap natin.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Bro H, final words. Let's close it down.
We live in a pessimistic, very negative world. So the only way to go, all right, in order for us to survive as a species, all right, I mean, let alone not just as a Filipino people, but as a species, I believe you gotta fake it till you make it. You just have to, right? I mean, like, put one foot in front of the other, do the daily grind, and try to make the world a better place in whatever minute little way you can.
Step by step,
Step
inch
by
by
step,
inch, little by
inch.
little.
Because champions are made
Yun.
in increments, right?
Yun, nadali mo.
So thanks a lot, guys, for listening. This was a really interesting episode. Please put your comments down below and share, subscribe. See you next time.